After months of speculation, it's official. Miami Valley Congressman Jim Jordan announcing his run for Speaker of the House. Join me this morning live from Cedarville University's Dr. Marc Clauson to talk about what this means for the Republican Party. Jordan is somewhat of a rabble-rouser in Congress. He's made many people upset on his own party in the past. Do you think he's going to be able to get enough support to win the speakership?
Well, that's a big question. He appeals certainly to the very conservative base, and he tends to appeal a great deal, I think, to the Trump base. He supports welfare reform, immigration reform, small government, tax cuts, repealing Obamacare. All those things appeal to the conservative base. The problem is the House is not along with that Freedom Caucus wing completely. The broad middle of the House is moderately conservative to conservative, but not as far as Jordan and the Freedom Caucus would be. That presents it with a problem when it comes time for the vote, because McCarthy would pull away a lot of votes from that, I think.
You said Jordan gets the support from the Trump base. What about the president himself?
I think Trump would be very supportive of Jordan. I think almost all of Jordan's ideas that he's put forth in running for Speaker would resonate well with Trump, and because they would resonate well with Trump's base, too. So, yeah, I don't have any problem with Trump's support of Jordan. Jordan's problem is going to come within the House itself.
Now, right now, Jordan's facing this investigation out of Ohio State into his time as an assistant coach for the wrestling team. Do you think that's going to have any impact on his run for Speaker?
Yeah, that's a really good question at this point. It's kind of hanging out there. The investigation proceeds slowly. The longer it drags out, it could have an effect. He's obviously denied all involvement in that kind of thing, all knowledge of any of that. But it could play a role when it comes to the vote.
Do you see Jordan's candidacy being a rallying cry for Democrats during the midterms?
No doubt. The Democrats are going to be very opposed to that aspect of the Republican Party, that very conservative aspect of the Republican Party. And that's going to help them help galvanize their efforts at defeating Republicans. There's no doubt. They're enthusiastic about it if he becomes Speaker. They're going to focus on him and his wing.
If Jordan gets the speakership, how would that change the makeup of Congress?
Well, for one thing, now you would definitely have votes brought to the floor on issues that have not been brought to the floor before, for fear of not getting the votes, or for fear of opposing certain congressmen. Jordan is one who will not have the fear of bringing those kinds of very conservative policy, that conservative policy legislation to the floor for a vote and proposing it. And it's going to change. It's going to change the way Congress actually does business. Whether it'll lead to more legislation along those conservative lines, that's another question. But he's certainly going to push and be able to push from that position.
Thank you for that great insight. Dr. Marc Clauson joined us live this morning from Cedarville University.
Well, it's one of